How's it going, guys? What you're going to see today is some Titanfall beta highlights. Again, some of these aren't the most impressive highlights. They were just accumulation clips that I happened to piece together based on my few hours of playing the beta, because I got into it late. I only actually got to play the beta, I think it was 36 hours before it ended. So everything was new to me. I was experimenting with the pilots, the Titans, loadouts. I didn't even unlock everything before the beta ended, so this is basically some highlights of it, some preliminary loadouts. As you see here, I'm struggling with sensitivities of hip fire and longer range accuracy, but I imagine when I get the game and it works out, things will start to change in my favor. What I wanted to do in these highlights quickly is to give you some basically information on the game and when it'll be coming out and certain aspects of it. So what it is, if you're not familiar with the game, the developer is Respawn Entertainment, which were some of the guys that were ousted from Infinity Ward in the Call of Duty days, making their own game. Publishers EA, I know, boo. But I figured this Battlefield 4 fiasco was just as much as DICE's fault as it was EA's. So I figure I'm going to at least give this game a try. I'm not going to pre-order it, though. I've learned my lesson pre-ordering games. Battlefield 4 was the first one I pre-ordered in years, and that was not a good pre-order investment. But I will be buying this game, but I won't pre-order it. It runs on the Source engine, which I guess has been worked to death for a while now, but it's good in a way, because as much as it won't be the best graphics experience, it'll play very smooth. Ideally, it should play very smooth. So I'm all for that. I'm not about graphics a lot of the time. As long as it looks good, it doesn't need to be perfect or groundbreaking. If it looks good and it plays well, I'm fine with it. It only comes out for Xbox One and PC, as you might expect, and it comes out for Xbox One and PC on March 11th, and Xbox 360 on March 25th. Obviously, as you might expect, it's an FPS. Now, it doesn't have a single-player element itself. It's just a multiplayer with built-in single-player elements, which is, I think, a pretty interesting take on it, which should play out pretty well. Now, there's 3 factions in the game in terms of characters. There's the Frontier Militia, there's the Combatants, and the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation. So again, 3 different factions. We're all used to that. With regard to the weapons in the game, you'll see some of them. There's carbines, there's rifles, there's pistons, Detroit Pistons, shotguns, SMGs, sniper rifles, LMGs. There's a whole bunch of different variety of guns, which will be pretty nice. There's sidearms. There's RPGs. There's rapid-fire anti-Titan launcher, which is called the Sidewinder, which isn't exactly an RPG, but it fires sort of explosive rockets, which help take them out. And, of course, the Titans themselves have all sorts of basically steroided-up weapons to use, which are pretty interesting. There's all sorts of different grenades and explosives to use as well. There's tactical abilities for both the pilots and the Titans, but of course they're different. You can use electric smoke as a Titan, a vortex shield, and as a pilot you can use which I'll be using almost all the time. You can use the cloak, which grants temporary invisibility, so that'll be great for flanking, great for wreaking havoc on all sorts of teams. There's kits as well. There's the parkour kit, which basically makes you a more agile, more mobile pilot. And as a Titan, you can use the battery, which extends the duration of a dome shield when you drop. There's all sorts of different things. If you're not familiar with the game, I can link you the wiki in the bottom, and you can do the research further from yourself. Then burn cards that come with it are basically they're additions that allow the character to have some sort of card to enhance their gaming experience per se. So, as you might expect, you join a card. Or you join a match, you play a card, but they can only be used once per life. So if you get spawn killed right off the start, and I haven't found any spawn deaths with regard to playing this game, so I haven't had a problem with that. But if you do happen to be unfortunate where you use a burn card and get spawn killed, then that's it for your burn card. You have to re-earn them again. There'll be quite a few maps coming out for the base game as well. There was only 2 or 3 in the beta. But there will be a lot coming out for the base game, and as far as I know, there's only 3 modes as of right now that were in the beta, which were attrition, hardpoint domination, last Titan standing, or search and destroy types. But that might change when the actual full game comes out. I'm not sure. But either way, I would be thoroughly entertained, to be perfectly honest, playing these 3 different types of game modes over and over in this game, because it looks like there's just so many different elements to it. And you know what? For the most part, I've noticed with regard to my gaming experience, and of course it's a subjective experience, everyone else might be different, but for me, I don't need fancy graphics a lot of the time. As long as the game plays smooth, the hit detection's fine, and there's a fun factor to it, you will never hear me complain. Other people want state-of-the-art graphics and the best of both worlds, but then something like Battlefield 4 comes out and it's just not ready to be released that early. So it's all up to you. For me, though, you won't hear me complain. I'll have a blast as long as the game's balanced and plays pretty well, and that'll be my take on it. And in the beta, I've noticed Titanfall played extremely well. I noticed little to no performance. And look at this rodeo you'll see here in a second. This is one of the more fun aspects of taking out a Titan. You can actually shoot the head, and you'll start to see the health meter, the yellow meter right on top of his head, start to decrease. That is one of the most fun things to do in Titanfall, and to me it never got tiring. And there, his meter's already going off. He's ready to explode, jump off, explode, and I've took out a Titan. And of course, would I tell you to buy it? And my honest answer to you guys would be to try it out first before you buy it, if possible. Go to a friend's house, try it out. If you're a fan of, say, the Call of Duty series, you'll probably enjoy this. I'm a bigger Battlefield guy than Call of Duty. I haven't played any Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2, but I'd still highly recommend this game. It's a ton of fun, but don't take it from me. Make sure you try it out before you buy it. See if you guys like it. Anyway, that's it. See you later.